principal page. You know, I can say, you know, blurb and photo, and then I can choose a deadline, and I can admit staff. So that would be for your teacher who is going to be on the pages. Once that's decided, you guys can come over here. Once you have your logins and stuff, your names will appear here. And then you can click on that, and then only the pages that you have to be working on will populate. So you'll have to go scrolling through the whole yearbook to figure out what pages you have to do. Two ways to get to the main designer is you can either click here on thumbnail, or you could go under Create and then Layout Pro. So this is your design tool. And I'm going to show you something right now. So I'm going to go, you might want to take note on this. I'm going to go File, New Practice Page. And I'm going to put Deb's Training. So what this does is open up a double page spread for you guys to practice on. And not only does it do that, but it'll allow you to complete your page, get it exactly the way you want, and then you'll be able to drag and drop it on the specific page number in the book when you're done. So this way you can try like multiple different kinds of layouts and stuff for the same page to see what you like better. All the pages in the book will be on the left-hand side, and you can scroll up and down to see them. You can also click on the bottom here to see all of the information on the page. This is the Design tab. So this is where I'm going to get everything. So under the Custom tab, if I left and I wanted to come back to my practice pages, you'd see I have Deb's Training is right here. I can click, and then I can edit my page. I just click it and it reopens for me. Or I can take it away. The next thing you want to take a look at is my 2020 templates. So these are a lot of the templates that were used last year. So if you really like something that was used last year, if you have like every year your grad section looks the same way and you want to do that again this year, you can find it here. Then you're going to come down to here where it says themes, modular, page surfer, lots of different things here that you can do. So I'm just going to go into this one that says Story Starters. And I'm going to drag and drop some templates in. So I've got now a template on the page. And as you can see, like this is all about gaming. You know, so you can poll your student population to find out who's playing games and what games they're playing. So who's playing Fortnite, who's playing Assassin's Creed, like, you know what I mean? So you can actually make a graph in your Google Docs and just poll the students in the school. Now, what can I do for this? I can do anything that I want. So if I wanted to change this or change the photo box, I can do anything. I can make it bigger, I can delete anything I want to do. What I want to show you is how could I make this more unique to Wesleyan. So I can come under Edit, I can go under Select, go down to Color, and now I can change colors on the page. So I can take that purple on the fill the gaming console, and then I can come here, and then I can, all the colors that are already used on the page, they're always on the top here. So I'm going to change the purple, and I'm going to come here, and I'm going to find a nice dark green, which I think, varsity. And then I'm going to say change. So now all of a sudden those are all turned to green. And then I can come here and I can take out this green and even make it a darker green. So these are some ways that you can change it up. And you can do the same thing to the text and everything else. But these are some things that I wanted to show you because it's really easy. There's already templates pre-populated. There's over 3,000 to choose from. So there's lots of different ideas here. All your pictures will be under images. If I want to upload anything, I can take a photo and I can just drag and drop it right here, and it'll go into whichever folder I'm in. I can click upload, and I can upload directly from Google Drive or from my computer here. The Google Drive thing is new this year, and it's a big thing because now you don't have to download those photos to your computer or your device and then upload them to Yearbook Editing. To get any kind of photo box on the page or anything on the page, you're going to click on Art. You're going to click on the image frame. So these are all the different kinds of frames that we have that you can drag and drop your photos into. I'm just going to take a square. So you see now that I have my photo box on the page, and you see I have a toolbar up here. What can I do to my photo box? I can do anything. I can make it bigger, smaller, skinny, short, anything I want to do. I can come here and rotate it to whatever rotation I want. Okay, so I have these 3 boxes on my page, and a couple of things I want to do. The first thing I want to do is I want to make sure that all my boxes are the same size. So how do I do that? I'm going to come right here to the right-hand side of the page, right where it says transform, and I'm going to click that. Now, every single window that pops up on anything that you click on has a push pin. If I click the push pin, it actually releases it and I can move it wherever I want it to be, and it allows it to stay on the page when I'm working. So I know this one here now is 12 by 12, the width and the height. So I know that one is, and this one is different. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to make it 12 by 12. So everybody get how to do that? The next thing I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to make sure that all these things are at the same level. So I'm going to have to select all my picture boxes. So 2 ways I can do that. I can hold my shift key down and select, or I can drag and drop and it selects it for me. So here, I can go along to align object, and if you don't know what the little things mean, you can just highlight over the little artworks and you can see what they are. So I'm going to align them all to the top. So now I know that all of these are perfectly on the same line. They're straight across. The next thing I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to make sure that all of them are exactly the same distance apart. So I'm going to come down here where it says use spacing. I'm going to select it. I'm going to put one pica, and I'm going to say horizontally. And now it's perfect. I know that I have exactly the right amount of space in between. I know that my boxes are all the same size, and I know that everything is level.
The 3 photos there.
Something else, maybe I'm looking at it and go, you know what? I want it to go right to the bounding here. I want that to happen. So how am I going to do that? A lot of times when you're selecting and you're trying to get things over, it sort of stretches it the wrong way and things don't happen the way you want. So what I would do is I would come over here to group. I would group my photos, and now I can do this. And it keeps the same formatting. And then I can just ungroup it after. Anything that you want to do on the page is inside the bounding box, which is here, which means that it's going to appear on the page. If you want it to bleed off the page, that means that the color will come right off the page and you won't have any border. Sort of like when you go to the store and you have a picture of just trying to see if you have any photos. Okay, so I'm going to upload a photo. Sorry. You see here it's uploading, and when it's uploaded, it'll go green. There's my photo. So I'm going to drag and drop the photo into my box. You'll see when I'm dragging and dropping the photo that it'll actually glow green. I don't know why it's taking so long. Oh, there it is. Do you see that?
Yeah.
If it ever glows red, you'll see that the photo will actually just sit on top of the box. That means that your photo is not large enough to fit into the box that you've provided. I just re-uploaded it.
What file types will it take? Just JPEG only?
JPEG, TIFF, and PNG.
Okay.
So if I double click, you'll see that my photo is really large. If I double click on the photo, I can actually like move my photo in and around, and I can move it and get it to where exactly I want. So that's how you crop.
Also, what size? What size photo is max and minimum?
There's no real maximum size, though.
Yeah.
If you have like a whole folder of, I don't know, of pictures that are 5 megs each picture, it might take a really long time to upload. It might time out.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I wouldn't do anything more than a meg. I don't think you really need more than a meg,
Okay.
unless you want to do some backgrounds and stuff like that. All right, so here's my photo. What can I do to it? A few things. First thing I want to show you is now a stroke. So just like when you're doodling on your copybook and stuff like that, you always outline your artwork because it looks better. Same thing for a photo. You want to make sure that the people who are looking at your photos are seeing where everything starts and finishes. So you can choose any color that you want, but right now I'm just going to use black. And I'm going to go here and I'm going to put a 1.1. And you'll see now that that's like has a stroke on it. And it's really great. It's the best thing to do, really. The second thing, I can come here and there's a format and effect. So I can round the corner. So if I'm tired of the pointy corners, I can actually round them out. I can make my photo transparent. So if I'm using maybe that as a background or something, I can make it transparent. And the last thing is a tint. This is not a lightning tool. It's actually really mostly used for a color box that you want to just a different tint of that color. I can click here. I can put a drop shadow on my photo. I can play with the distance of my drop shadow, the degree, so the 3D effect if I want it, going up or down, whichever way I want it to go. The opacity of that, if I want to make it lighter or darker, and the blur. I can also choose the color. The same thing for the glow, which is something that it goes right? I will also tell my photo right here if I'm going to want text wrapping around it. So with my photo selected, I'm going to do the first, second, third one to make sure that I wanted the text to wrap right around my photo. And then I can actually play with the padding after. But we'll get into that in a bit. The next thing I want to show you is the Snap Edit tool. I'm just going to make this a bit bigger. So you guys can see. So the Snap Edit tool is actually pretty cool, because you can do a lot of different things. I can make my photo black and white, but I can come here and I can just maybe give it a little bit of color. I mean, I'm thinking a lot of these filters you see already, like on your phones and Instagram and stuff like that. So the same thing with, Instagram, like, the sepia tone, you can put a little bit of yellowing in there if you want. But I like color up. So I can come here and I can make this green. Or I can make it, I don't know, orange. And then I can sort of like play with the amount of that. So it gives it a really cool effect.
Okay.
The most important thing here is the levels. So if you have an overexposed or underexposed photo and it's the only photo you got and you have to use it, you can actually come in here instead of using, like a creation software like Photoshop. You can come in here now and just click like the white and you'll see it'll brighten it up for you, all the levels, and you can just put that to where you need it to be. And if it's a little bit too light, you can darken it by going like this. But what it does is it does all the levels at the same time. So it does the brightness, contrast, and saturation all at the same time for you. Anytime you want to change anything. Say if I want to do this, then I will save. And you'll notice that it's saving a copy. So now you see that there's a copy here, and my original photo is still where it's at. So you'll always have your original photo. You can crop by doing this as well, so I can move this around if I want here. But double clicking is just faster. If I want to duplicate a photo or any kind of layout, I just click duplicate, and it duplicates it for me. Now say I want to lock this because I want to drag and drop other things on. So maybe I have something on here that I want on every single page. I can lock it. So I can lock the content or lock the position and the size of my photo. But I can still do all kinds of different things in and around it. So if I wanted to come here and I wanted to go into designs and I wanted to choose this layout, it would, but my photo still stays there. Something I want to mention to you guys now is that this is the internet. If by any chance the internet connection gets lost, or you're working at home and you go to the washroom or something like that, and your brother or your sister or your mom and dad say, oh, they go, oh, you know, they left the computer on again and turn it off. If you haven't saved it, you've lost it. So I would say every 15 minutes or so, or before you leave your computer desk or anything like that, just click the save button or Control S or Command S to save it. So let's go down back into art, and we're going to talk about clip art. So I can come in here and I can choose a clip art. So I'll just, for all intents and purposes, use this one. So last year, and prior years, if you saw a clip art that you really liked, but it was, I don't know, purple, and you didn't want purple, you wanted green, you were kind of up the creek. You couldn't do anything about it. But this year, you can come in here to the Snap Edit tool and you can colorize it. And I don't know why it goes to that color. And you can come down and you can choose whatever color that you want it to be. So it'll actually do it for you. Save it. And there you go. I'm going for a banner along the top. All kinds of different things.
Cool.
So you have all the same shapes that you have in the photo boxes, you have in the regular shapes. Backgrounds. Right click on the page. Click Change Background. Here you see left page, right page. So I'm going to go to my left page and say, I want a background color. So I'm going to click here, I'm going to choose my color. Now I have my color. And you'll see that it has flooded right down the center and off the three sides. That's why it's so important to use this tool when you're doing any kind of background color or photo, because that's exactly what it's going to do. Now if I go to my right page and I want to choose a different color, it does the same thing. So there's no green going on the pink, and there's no pink going on the green. Not only that, but it locks it to the back. So I can move things around, and I can't move my background. If I wanted a photo, I'm going to choose my images. So I'm going to come here. Where did I put those ones? I think it was in Spartan. No. Where did I put them? Dances and events. So I would come here. I would go into my folder. And you'll notice that it'll only show up photos that are going to be large enough to be a background. It's not going to allow, it would be sort of grayed out if you had a photo here that you wanted to use and it wasn't going to be large enough for background. Okay, so the next thing we're going to go to is the text. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to drag and drop it on. I really would prefer you guys using styles, so that's like a preset headline. Like, so I have here grad headline. So if you say, okay, I want this font, I want it to be this size, I want it to be that attribute, you can actually put it all in, save it as your grad headline, and then it just comes up. And you just drag and drop it. It's already the right size, the right font, the right attribute right away. Just easier for you guys. You don't have to have notes. Just find out how large or what kind of font that you're using.
Cool.
You'll notice here that the toolbar has changed. So let's go over that a little bit. All your fonts will be here. Right now you only have 2 in, so that's because you guys haven't had a chance to sit down and decide which fonts that you want. I would suggest no more than 10, because you don't really need more than that. You don't want the book full of different fonts. It will look kind of funny. You want a nice even flow to all the pages. You can click your style here, so if I wanted to change my style, I can do it up here. I can choose the size of my font. I can choose the color of my font. I can line my photo, but my box, but I would suggest not to do that. If you're going to put any kind of box in and behind it, I would suggest that you go ahead and do a fill box and then put it on the page and then put a text box on top, because this way that you'll have perfect alignment exactly where you want to go. Text boxes tend to have a little bit of space on the top and the bottom and on each side that maybe you don't want. Bold, italicized, underline, we all know what these are. My alignment, so left, center, all that stuff, you know what those are. I can come here now and I can align vertically to the top of my box into the center. Let's do this a little bit. Oops. So align to the top, align to the center, or align to the bottom of the box. Whichever one that will suit your needs. Now, a lot of times what happens is that there's space here. If you can see it, there's some space that the box automatically gives for the font. So if I click on here, I can actually play with that. And I can make it go right to the top of the box. This is also kind of cool when you're doing So say this is my grad write-up, but I don't have a lot of space here, so I get this lovely, oops, I didn't mean to get that small one. I get this lovely red X. I get this lovely red X. So I need to, you know, get some more space or less space. So here I want to actually make more space. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to make it a little larger, and then I can come here and I can make it a little bit smaller, so that I can maybe fit in another sentence or so, or a few more words within the grad quote or whatever you're doing. All right, so the next thing I want to talk to you about is flow. So I'm just going to go onto regular pages for this because I don't think it'll work. So one of the things you're going to do when you're doing those portrait pages, you're going to go into your art, you're going to click on flow, and you're going to drag and drop it. First you're going to decide if you want the pictures with the names underneath or the names on the side. So let's go underneath for now. And you're like, okay, but we have a lot more kids than that, and these are way too big. So on the top toolbar, you'll see here flow options. So I can click here and I can say, okay, I need 9 rows and I want 7 columns. So they look funny. So I want my width. Well, my width is, I want my width maybe. My height, oops. Okay, hold on a second. Oh. Okay, so I really like this. This is really nice. Maybe I want to come in here and I want to make sure that my spacing here is not as big, so maybe I'll put it to 2. And then I can put this down here, and then maybe I have room up here now for a title. So if I really like this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this little button here that says duplicate. I'm going to bring it over to the next page. I'm going to make sure by selecting both pages, then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to make sure that it's exactly where it's supposed to be, the alignment tool. And then I'm going to do, I'm going to select them. I'm going to do a Control-C, save my work, go to the next page, do a Control-V, and I'm going to show you, I didn't save it, but see, it says, would you like to save changes first? So it actually asks you to do this. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to flow. And I'm going to find where I have a grade that I want to use. So these are from last year, so I have grade 9 here. There's 115 images. So I'm going to select my category. So let's do 10. I'm going to select how I want my name to appear. Do I want it to be Nickel Debbie or Debbie Nickel? So I'm thinking first last. And then I'm going to come here, and it's going to ask you, where do you want your flow to start? I'm going to say page 2. And then as you click up on the page numbers, it'll actually tell you right here the available position, flow finish, the amount of students. Anytime that you have done something and you need to make changes to the flow, a couple of things. You'll have to go into the history tab. History tab will give you all the saves, all the times you've saved. So say if you're working on something and you've saved it a couple of times and then you realize about 4 saves ago you really liked it better, you can actually come to the history tab and find it and drag and drop it onto the page.
Saves a lot of time.
Oh yeah, like, you know, insurmountable amount of time because you're trying to figure out what you do. But to make the changes that you'll have to do to the portrait pages, you'll have to come drag and drop, because what that does is it releases the flow element, keeping everything exactly where it's positioned. So as you see, like these names are a little bit too big, so I'm going to make the box a little bigger. And then I can move it around. And now she's good. The last thing I want to show you guys is I want you guys to look at this little digital classroom. So if in case you can't get in touch with me, and I'm always on the bottom on the front page, I'll show you where that is. But if you have a question and you want it answered or anything like that, if you come here, you can just scroll down to where it says Layout Pro, click on there, and there will be all these tutorial videos on to do all the things I just showed you. Right? So like, and they're just small, like little things. Like if I click on text wrapping, it'll show you a video and it's actually 1 minute and 22 seconds. So if it's taking you more than, you know, a minute or two to do something, there's probably an easier way to do it, and you can just come here, type, you know, and choose what you're trying to do, and it'll show you how to do it in a quicker way. The other thing I want to show you is COVID. Just type it in the search tool. Guys, go down to where it says Spread Gallery, size 8. There's all kinds of different layouts that have already been done. So you'll see that this one is the one we were using earlier, and I really kind of liked it because I think that everyone is like gaming and doing different things at home just to pass the time, because you can't go anywhere. So I'm just thinking that it was a great thing. So you can download the left and right page to see what the questions are that they asked and stuff like that. And you can just make it your own and send out your own Google survey. But there's lots of different ones here to let you know, like to let you see different ideas that not necessarily does your pages have to have photos of students on it on every single one. That this year is the year that the content is more about what people are feeling and going through rather than having the picture on the page. But lots of different ones here. Just scroll through, really kind of cool. All of these are downloadable spreads, wash your hands, making lemonade, I love that one. But just take a look at these to help you through finding some stuff. There's also here inspiration and content ideas for COVID era yearbooks. So we are in the COVID era. And you can come here and you can take a look at the spreads and just take a look at other schools, what they've been doing and what's come up. So those are just some places that you can take